Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions or any entities they represent. This podcast is about dating experiences. It is not to say one dating app is better or worse than another.
It's no accident that sounds like you're leveling up in a video game. 48% of 18 to 29-year-olds have an online dating profile.
Make them work for it.
45% of people say they're more frustrated with this form of dating than hopeful.
There are so many people you can connect with.
Should I swipe right?
Swipe wrong. Swipe wrong. Setting the record straight on dating apps. Everyday people telling everyday stories of the swipe right world with your host, Chaos.
Well, I know he had a good time.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing awesome. Welcome to the Swipe Wrong podcast, the number one podcast amongst people who have already given up on their New Year's resolutions. That's who we're going to be today. So we've been hit and miss on recording. Really, one of the things that we ran into is the show was doing okay and it's doing okay, but just there hasn't been new content. So I say it all the time. If you guys want to share your story, we could use them now. We used to have a pretty big bank of them, but I've done a poor job of reaching out to people other than just being on the show. Give us a call, 317-426-6616. Email, don't email, just call or text. Call or text. Yeah, because that's the easiest way to get a response. The quickest way to get a response. Too much junk email. This is what it seems like is happening. Like, follow, subscribe, share with your friends. You know how it is. Let us all just kind of get out into the world. We could use the help, and we appreciate the heck out of it. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the content that we have. We should have a bunch more. We flirted with doing different shows and letting this one go, but I don't think I could do that. So that's what I got. So here's what I want to talk about today. I'll just get into it. This one probably won't be anything more than half hour, so an easy listen for you. But hopefully your guys' holiday season has been awesome. You've enjoyed, whatever you celebrate, or even just a random Tuesday on your days off of the holidays, which works out pretty awesome too. I would say about 2 or 3 months ago, I was just scrolling through, like I guess everybody does, Insta and Facebook, and I kept seeing friend suggestions, which that's part of the algorithm, right? Between friend suggestions and whatever the heck it is that you're talking about to your friends, you're going to get up with an ad, some sort of ad, of what you're talking about. Like that's what's going to cycle through. But the friend suggestions were turning into just absolutely gorgeous women who had zero connection with. Like there was no friend of a friend, or this person's in your industry, or whatever tie that bind there might be. It was just, hey, here's this smoke show. We suggest you be friends with them. And I was like, this, as much as we don't want to see and have all the beautiful people in our lives, I was just like, what the hell is going on here with Facebook? So what I started to do is I started just reaching out to them. I was like, I wouldn't friend request them because I'm sure they're getting bombarded. But let me just reach out to them and just start a conversation and see if they're getting a shit ton more friend requests. So if this has been happening to you, here's what I found out, because I did have about 5 or 6 people respond. Because the weird thing is when you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram and you send somebody who's not a friend a message, it's not like it goes in their main inbox. It goes kind of in a halfway abyss type of bullshit folder. So it's not like they can find it without digging into it real quick. But the truth is, if they're getting a bunch of messages, they know all about this folder if they don't. So I was kind enough to get a few responses. There was a woman, I should say, out in Arizona who was just, she She was just probably one of the more beautiful women I've ever seen. And she was so cool and so nice. And she's like, yeah, I get close to 1,100 friend requests a day. I was like, are you shitting me? I didn't like 1,100 of them. Like, that's crazy. She's like, yep, it doesn't matter if they're near me, if they're a state away or a country away, like they are just showing up from out of nowhere. And she's it is just like I don't even want to be on social anymore. I was like, no kidding. I had another woman that I spoke to that said it seemed like every time she logged into her messages, there was a new DP waiting for her. And just people that she hadn't even met before, people she hadn't even talked to before. And I was like, what is happening? So, like, the more I looked into it, like Facebook has their dating portion. Like they're like you click on it and you have dating just like you do with about everything else. Um, and it seems like they're trying to make this like their full blown, I need to raise our numbers. Let's turn this into some. But in the meantime, women especially are just getting like bombarded with just, in truth is, you can save you change your settings. Like you can change it to where, you cannot get a friend request unless it's somebody who is a friend of a friend. You can turn off your settings, which I guess mine are turned off this way to where people cannot just post onto your page. I don't even know how I did this, but evidently I did that too because I had a couple of events come up, and so I was like, "Did you block me?" I'm like, "No, I didn't block you." Um, and you can change all your privacy stuff, and it seems like you're going to need to because if you are getting this a lot, it's not going to stop because the same person that told me that they were getting about 1,100 a day a couple days, and this is when I first started talking to her about 2 months ago. I would say it was less than a week ago. She had 2,000 in one day. Like from when she went to sleep to when she logged in the next day, which is I think she said it was about mid-afternoon. She just was like, "Well, I wonder how much today." It was 2,000 requests. I'm like, "You're gonna get like you might as well run for office. You have like this whole political campaign, but." So for whatever reason, I don't know. It's got to be something having like the only thing I found is it's the more the numbers raise on people and their ties. Like if Billy up the street goes from 10 friends to 200 friends, and Jenny down the road goes from 200 friends to 3,000 friends, then it looks like there's more and more interaction. It looks like there's more and more use out of Facebook and Meta. I mean, not that they need it, uh, can get more ads into the algorithm, sell more things, and get things moving a little bit better into the financial because everything's a business. Like I think that's the easiest way to look at all this. If you look at everything, politics, even the way the country is run, it's being ran as a business. Meta, of course, is a business. They're trying to make money. Well, the more people that they can touch that are touching other people, ties that bind, see people on each other's feeds, it just raises it up. The fallout from it though is like we're in an age of anxieties being higher than they've ever been, where people just have so much screen time and it's raising their level of anxiety that when you throw in keyboard courage and you throw in just some of the things that'll happen when these numbers get raised, it's causing a little bit of mental health issues for people. And I shouldn't say a little bit. In some cases, it's driving people completely insane. And it puts people at the close, to the brink of shutting everything down, which is never a bad idea. Like if you're ever getting that close to the point to where you're like, you know what, I'm done, be done. Just be done, be over with it. Take yourself a break. We talk about like this is like a pseudo swipe awareness. I think we used to do that episode of swipe awareness to where we were like, all right, here's the things to look out for. Always run background checks. Don't put on dating sites what you're looking for. If you're looking for a relationship or if you're looking for sex, don't put that on there because you're going to run into people who will be chameleon like and say that they want those things too. to get your interest, to get your attraction. And then, when it comes down to it, as road goes on, you may find out you want totally different things because of that reason. This is sort of one of those episodes like, hey, be careful what TikTok, Facebook. I didn't even mention TikTok. I didn't get much response when I reached out on TikTok because I think the two responses I got were the numbers were just ridiculous and couldn't keep up with the messages. So that'd be what I say. So like we're in this age where you can talk to anybody, you can communicate with anybody. We have my sister who comes on this show all the time. I love talking to her. I can't help it. And she's, one of the people that she's dating right now is in country music, who she met through social and who she's had an interaction with through social. And like there isn't anybody you can't connect with. Everybody is, just a keyboard away. But it can truly bring some really tough situations. So I found this interesting, I guess. And as I still look through Insta and Facebook and see these things, I still reach out to people and say, hey, look, hey, I have this theory on what's going on. Be careful. I don't know. It's the only way I know that I can one of the many ways, I guess, through this platform that I can possibly help. When we're doing this show and we hear some of the crazy stories of, and airing some dirty laundry, latchkey crazy. Those are the two that come to mind, to where people run into different situations with guys or women that they didn't quite like they thought they knew until shit went sideways and they didn't know them. This just seems like another avenue where you're going to run into more crazy. So just be careful, protect yourself. Profiles can be created. Like I could tell you, it seems like, I don't know, the guys I talked to, they just knew, like they just knew there was going to be a point where one of the women were going to send a link about trying to get onto a less monitored app. But I mean, that's the thing. When you get into Messenger, it's not monitored like the dating profile is, like Bumble is, like Tinder is. So like it's more of the wild, wild west than anything. So, and there's been some success stories where I'm like, I met him, we went out, we had a great time, and he's so cool, but still proceed this way with caution. So I don't know. I felt this topic, even though it may only be an 8 to 10 minute episode, I felt like this needed to get out there because some people just aren't noticing it either. Some people are, it's just the normal Facebook stuff, the normal algorithm that's going on. It's not. Something's been heightened and something's been changed. And for all that, just be careful. That's all I gotta say. So anyway, I wanted to put that out there. Quick episode this week. I should be getting you more. But in the meantime, have an amazing day.
Thank you for being along for the ride on the Swipe Wrong podcast. The show is produced by Jay Pelham. You want to reach out to us? We want to hear your story. 317-426-6616. Make sure to text, leave a voicemail. We'll get back to you. Shoot us an email at swipewrongpod@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, Insta, Twitter, YouTube. We are definitely out there. I am the host of the show. My name is Chaos. And please make sure to take a listen to us next week because the saga, it continues.